Chair recognizes the gentleman from Fayette for explanation of bill and a motion thereon.
Mr. Speaker, I ask the clerk to report House Committee Substitute 1 to House Bill 594.
Clerk, please report.
House Committee Substitute 1 to House Bill 594.
Gentleman from Fayette.
Move for adoption.
Motion is for the adoption of House Committee Substitute 1. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, those in favor signify by voting aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. House Committee Substitute 1 is adopted. Gentleman from Fayette.
Mr. Speaker, at this time, after having some lengthy discussions this morning in regards to one of the aspects of the bill, and particularly with the gentleman from Todd, we have found that we need to make a small change out of abundance of caution and suspend the rules to file it for House Floor Amendment 1.
Would you state that in a motion, gentleman from Fayette?
Mr. Speaker, I ask to suspend the rules.
Motion of the gentleman from Fayette is for suspension of the rules for the purpose of allowing and calling on House Floor Amendment 1, which was just filed this morning. Motion to suspend the rules requires a constitutional majority of 51 votes. It is not debatable. Roll call machine is open for your vote. Those wishing to suspend the rules for the purpose of hearing House Floor Amendment 1, vote aye. Roll call is open for your vote. Clerk will take the roll. Being 51 members voting aye, rules are suspended for the purpose of allowing the gentleman from Fayette to call and act upon House Floor Amendment 1. Gentleman from Fayette.
Mr. Speaker, can you please have the clerk report House Floor Amendment 1, please, to House Bill 594?
Clerk, please report.
House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 594.
Gentleman from Fayette.
Mr. Speaker, House Floor Amendment 1 deals specifically with the esports section of House Bill 594. Out of abundance of caution, we went ahead and enumerated what esports was not in addition to what it was. The significant change: esports shall not include traditional casino games, which include but are not limited to poker, roulette, craps, or blackjack. It also removes the provision allowing for attorney fees to the prosecutors. Move for adoption.
Motion is the adoption of House Floor Amendment 1. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, those in favor signify by voting aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. House Floor Amendment 1 is adopted. Gentleman from Fayette.
Mr. Speaker, I'm here to present House Bill 594 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1 regarding gaming in Kentucky. Let me begin with letting you all know the collaboration involved with this bill. Representatives from the Retail Federation, including national representatives from Chuck E. Cheese, Dave & Buster's, were consulted and agree on this language. This language protects them and similar companies like Malibu Jacks and Monkey Joe's. The charitable gaming industry has also contributed and agreed to this language. The State Fair Board contributed and agreed to this language. The University of Kentucky contributed and agreed to this language. And for one of the elephants in the room, yes, the racetracks have seen and contributed to the language. They don't like all of it, but are not opposing the bill. No, it is not a Churchill Downs bill. Kentucky has always done an excellent job of regulating gaming, and we want to continue that effort now by outlawing illegal gaming machines and explicitly saying what is not gambling and what is not, and what devices and machines are gambling machines and which ones are not. Kentucky currently has 3 categories of legal gaming. We have the lottery, we have charitable gaming, and we have parimutuel wagering. And this body decided all 3 of those. This legislation, through this process, clarifies what other types of gaming and accompanying devices are legal under Kentucky law. The focus is on KRS Chapter 528.010, which is the definitions for all things gambling and not gambling. First, in Section 1, this bill defines coin-operated amusement machine. This type of gaming machine includes the types of games at our state and county fairs and other places such as Chuck E. Cheese, Malibu Jacks, and Dave & Buster's. It sets a $25 limit per game, but allows for redemption games that allow a player to aggregate their winnings for a larger prize, such as the PlayStation or the iPad on the top shelf, the larger teddy bear, for example. The winnings cannot be exchanged for cash or alcoholic beverages. The next thing the bill does is it defines esports. As many of you know, esports are played at the high school level. You can win a state championship in esports. It's a very specific thing. Students win scholarships to go on to college, and at the University of Kentucky, they have a multi-million-dollar facility designed specifically for their esports competitions. Next, this bill explicitly states that machines that operate the way gray machines operate are illegal. This definition, which is exemplary of exactly how they work, is included in the existing definition of a gambling device. Next, this bill contains an additional civil penalty provision, which is a $25,000 fine for those in high-level role with illegal games of any kind in Kentucky. The penalty goes to the affected county in which the game is located. Finally, there's an amendment that removes the emergency clause to allow ample time for all to comply should this bill become law. Now let me address the argument you have all heard. These are games of skill, not of chance. Whether something is skill or chance is about whether something is a lottery in cases before the Kentucky courts, interpreting the Constitution, that is. This moniker is a shiny object or a red herring and nothing more. But to eliminate any question and to reinforce that it is the legislature that decides what is gambling and what is not, this bill eliminates any distinction between skill and chance. It then defines the things that are gambling and gambling devices and exempts those that are not. Members of the Licensing and Occupations Committee thoroughly discussed the inclusion of midway and carnival type games, such as ring toss, duck pond, balloon darts, guess your weight, shooting targets, basketball toss games played at the Kentucky State Fair, county fairs, and festivals from the intent of 594. These games played each summer at our state fair and county fair festivals are not intended to be considered. We support our local state and county fairs any way that we can. And Mr. Speaker, if there are no questions, I move for passage of House Bill 594 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1 and Floor Amendment 1.